Say hello and we welcome our first set of guests to the studio, and it's Bréon Rydell. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying it right. That's
Well,
good
it's
enough.
lovely to meet you. Thanks indeed
Nice to
for
meet you
joining
too.
us.
Thank you.
And you're accompanied here. You've a fine accompaniment of musicians, if I say so myself. It's Billy Robinson. Billy, good to see you.
Hello yourself.
And if anybody up around Strabane sells coal, could you throw me in your best price here? Because we were just discussing the price of coal, and Brendan Quinn reckons it's cheaper in Strabane. So if you're a coal supplier in Strabane, let me know, will you? And we'll see what we can do. And Peter Cole, Peter, hello to you.
How are you doing?
And Finn Robinson, good to see you. You're welcome back again. Bréon, you're very welcome. For people that don't know you, give us a wee introduction to yourself.
Yeah, well, I come from the Scottish borders,
Mm-hmm.
and I come from a family that have had an Irish nana, and their family came from Sligo,
Uh-huh.
and my mum and dad loved music, so all the family played in music. So I was kind of born into a family. There was a piano and accordion, and my uncle played jazz on the trumpet, so I used to kind of sit there and listen to him and do all the kind of jazz numbers.
Uh-huh.
And in Scotland, I had a chance to develop some talent with poems. So I did early poems. So I was a kid, actually, I used to go out wandering amongst the hills and do poems. And then when I was doing poems, I could hear the melodies.
So you put them to
So
songs.
I put them together. So I would go to a little burn and a stone tower and be on my own and just listen to things.
Great
And I would hear
inspiration.
little snatches of poems like A Journey to a Yard of Graves. And I thought, where did that come from? Where words were written on stone,
Yeah.
or someone who roamed this earth and suffered centuries ago. And it kind of got into these sort of melodies and angles, and I'd go different spaces, and I would hear winds flowing through wheat fields, and I would hear, if only for a second we stopped and looked around, and surely we would notice the storm before the cloud.
It's
So-
amazing that you had such inspiration for what was basically on your doorstep.
Aye, it was there, and it's kind of in you. I think that whole kind of Celtic world and mythological world and magical world. I was kind of steeped in that. You know, I'd pop off into a forest as
Uh-huh.
a kid, and I just heard like first stanzas of poems, like.
Yeah.
I used to think I had things bad that life should be like in my dreams, where heroes run fair ladies' hands, who captain rugby football teams. And then I met a ragged man who stopped and asked me for the time. And since that day, my childish thoughts put to one side. These sort of things were just flying around.
Did you get mixtures of different poems at one time, where
Aye.
you took that out of there and put it on there, and that out of?
Yeah, sometimes they would come in triples, sometimes they would come 4 times. Like I would hear like a song, I would wake up in the morning once I got into doing songs.
Uh-huh.
And then I would hear a voice, and funnily enough, we're talking about this. We've got a girls singer that Billy knows that we're going to be working with on this song. But I would hear it like that. I would hear the first line of the top line of a vocal. I would hear, "I do believe that I am good, and deep inside I can't believe the hatred in your mind. I gave you everything, every moment in my life, and yes, I do regret every moment of my strife." So I would hear that,
Yeah.
and then I would hear this fiddle doing something. Then I would hear Jock
Ah.
McKinley, Albert Finlay, Robert Ryan, Sean O'Brien.
What's your
Okay.
favourite style? Is it singing, writing songs, or would it be poetry?
I'm really enjoying working here with Billy and the musicians here. I really love folk music, and I do love storytelling. So
Ah.
it's a combination. Like sometimes I was very fortunate to get to go to Air Studios in London, and I worked with the Metropolitan Orchestra, and
Wow.
so I got the chance to do some symphonic work with the work, which was great. And it was quite clear that, you know, as I was growing as a child, they were very simple and very kind of, you know, just flowing kind of things.
Yeah.
But then I saw that there's a way to make films with the music and the poems and build up a kind of collection of films and a body of work.
You have this done already, but films and
Yeah, I make small films.
Yeah.
I literally made a film a couple of years back. We were working in Cuba actually with the Berman Brothers, and they're working on a very interesting jazz album with Billie Holiday, Ray Charles, little Jimmy Scott, and what they do is they separate the original track, then they put a Latin American track to some of the iconic singers, and that really interested my husband Gary and I, and I'll get to Gary in a little bit, but he's an Irish gentleman, and his mother was born in Ramelton, and I'll tell that story. But no, these kind of people have kind of been in our life quite a bit, and building up this body of work.
And how did you find I know how you would have got there, but what took you to Cuba? What inspired that?
Well, they'd done albums before with the Buena Vista Social Club. They had a fairly big album, and they really wanted to try original jazz singers, iconic jazz singers, with a new Latin American soundtrack. And we met up with them in Berlin 2-3 years ago, and they said, would you like to come in and do executive producers on the record?
Wow.
And so Gary and I ended up in Cuba, and with the remnants of the Buena Vista Social Club, which was absolutely beautiful, and just fine musicians.
And how did that music end up?
It's coming out in a few months.
Is it?
It's coming out.
Looking forward to it.
Aye, very much so. But they're big fans of Billy Robinson now.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, they heard Billy's work when we did the Christmas song, and it was supposed to be. I think they're going to remix it in New York, weren't they? And they said, we are not touching that man's work. It's a master. It's a master
Very
class.
good,
What he does, which is great.
Looking forward to that, Billy.
Aye.
The excitement's just tripping you. Excellent. Well, listen, we're going to talk a whole lot more, but we'd like to get into a piece of music first. What are you going to do for us first?
Yeah, it's a new track called "It's a Long, Long Way." It's the first time it's been played live, so here we go.
And this is your own, obviously.
Yes.
Oh, great. Whenever you're ready.
It's a long, long way. Four o'clock in the morning, something's on my mind. Words from many years ago touch me deep inside. Imagine there were people who stopped to question why, who challenged man's hypocrisy. Can you hear the human cry? I believe in people, I believe in love, I believe in the future of the children who will come. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The mighty fist shall rule the day, the frozen ice it melts. We need to simplify our lives, if not we're facing hell. We've thrown away the Holy Ghost, science and the truth. Prying eyes are everywhere, tearing pages out of books. Whoa, I believe in freedom, I believe in love, I believe in the message of the children who will come. Whoa, 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 whoa. a long, long way. It's 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 a long, long way. Is anybody listening? It's a long, long way. Will anybody hear this song? Is anybody listening? Will anybody hear this song?
Yes. First time on airplay, and definitely not for the last. That's Bréon. Am I pronouncing your name? Bréon.
You're doing it
Rydell.
very right, thank you.
Come here. Are you releasing these? You have music released on Spotify, I know that.
Aye, we do, yeah.
And is it,
But-
what's coming next?
Right now, it's a Christmas song that we'll be doing a wee bit further down the line, and we're working on an album. We're working a spoken word album. It's a really interesting story, actually. One of the poems I'm going to do is kind of based on. Well, first of all, just a wee bit about that song. I wanted to say something about that. We've got two really lovely friends, and many lovely friends that have just got married, and two lads, and they were talking about having a baby, and we were talking about this in the summertime when we were in Italy. And it was very clear to me that some of their concerns they were having about what about if you have a baby and child, and what's this world going to be in the future of the world, you know? And when I actually thought about that, I thought, well, this sort of line came in: I believe in people, I believe in love, I believe in the future of the children who will come. I really wanted to give that song to them and say, do it, you know, and make this a happy occasion. So the baby's actually been born in January, and we actually got friends here in Ramelton that are just having a baby, and we've also got another group of friends in Italy. So we've got 3 sets of babies coming. So
Busy,
it's about their future.
busy Christians to attend to. But all good. That's lovely. That's
Yeah,
very
so
nice indeed.
so we're doing a spoken word album, but this one of the poems, early poems, American poems, is called A Letter for America. We'll do that in a wee while. But I think Billy has produced something very interesting. I just kind of played that to you a few days ago, right? And we just did a recording, a recitation of A Letter for America. And then Billy says, I've got a piece of music somewhere, He said, it's be perfect for that track, And Billy being Billy, there'll be something somewhere. And I think you said it was, 25 years ago, 30 years
25
ago?
years ago.
That's
I'd
something.
recorded a Terry Monahan album, and there's a Japanese jazz trumpet player called Tako Yakamori, and at the end of one of the tracks, I was with him, and he said, I'd love to put like an anthem at the end. So they're a jamba player from North Africa, and I got him. He recorded this trumpet 7 times, 7 trumpets, and he made this beautiful end to a song. It was actually completely different with the song. So I thought this would be great. It wasn't really long enough, so I edited it to make it long enough and changed parts of it. And then I asked the man probably who owned it, Terry Monahan, and he said, no, I'd be more, just give me a credit for it and give Taka credit on it. Use it by all means. So we put that underneath this poem that Bréon was going to recite. And it's very, very powerful sort of thing, I think.
Brilliant. Well done. And it just shows, once again, from the perspective of a songwriter and a musician, that you can leave something unattended for 25 years, or that you don't. That you
Well,
come
good
back to.
music, that's a bit like buildings. Good buildings always stand the test of time. So does good music,
Excellent. Brilliant. Well, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. We will be back, and we're going to hear this letter from America on the way, Highland Radio, on a Monday night.
Chatred ó hóla condaí gúna ngáil. An nálaigh seo ceannaigh go héitiúil, tacaigh le ceannaigh dúna ngáil. Tá réim se lehan da bhrandaí de haragaí agus da herbhisí fáilin seán gondaí. Mas danne huúta sa tóir brontanas faoi leid da watir, nó má tatú a géirí prófíl de grólaach da ardú, sé ceannaigh dúna ngáil an fragar. Tóir cuairtear ceanna duna ngáil .ie chun teachtar haircintí speisialta agus ar runtanis faoi lei ó rólachtaí gúna ngáil. Nach an eile má go dé mar is féidir leat leas a bhaintis deis fógraíochta do do rólacht. De chéile, dhéanamh duna ngáil a cheiliú agus a chur ar dan dónda. Is tionscnamh de chuid chuirla contaí gúna ngáil ceanna duna ngáil, agus táid bradúil as taú lenar an rólachtaí éitiúla.
Join Marty Friel this and every Friday night from 8 for Rockin' Hits on Highland Radio, in association with Arena 7 Letterkenny. Arena 7 gift cards are the perfect gift for the whole family and can be used across the Arena 7 complex. Visit arena7.ie.
At Specsavers, we've got hearing devices that can stream music or movies. Ones that are good in crowds, rechargeable battery ones that are good at home, ones that are good in the great outdoors, ones that connect to phones, ones that fit in your ear, ones that fit over your ear, ones that fit in wherever you happen to be. We've even got ones with the latest advanced tech, like the Phonak Infinio Sphere. And they're all available at great Specsavers prices. So book a free hearing check today. OK Hearing is not OK.
Did you know that you can spread the cost of your TV licence across the year? Set up a direct debit now and pay just $13.33 a month. If you have a TV, you must have a TV licence. It's the law. See tvlicence.ie for more. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
This is Highland Radio with Paul McDevitt.
It certainly is, and you're welcome back to Monday Night Sessions. And Bréon Rydell is our special guest in studio this Monday night. And if you just missed it, well, I have been talking about his work and what's been happening. And this, when we're writing, saying a poem. Yeah. So, and the music, this is the first time it's got airplay.
It is, yeah, and I think we were saying off mic about the fact that Billy has produced this fabulous, or he's found this fabulous piece of music that goes with it.
Well, we're looking forward to this whenever you're ready.
It's about certain people in America had a great impact on me. I've spent probably a quarter of my adult life now in America. But the great news is that we're home here in Ireland, and we're making our home here, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
Excellent.
Which is great. But you know, in dark times and troubled times, you know, just music and art can heal and bring people together, and I think we need a little bit more of that. And this is it was actually just something very early on that I felt with my uncle playing jazz trumpet. So it's about Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and people like that. It goes like Letter for America. Billie, Ella, Maya are the stars that shine so bright, awakening emotions of a dreamer through the night. Jesse Owens stood there and he won a victory. His elegance and courage would go down in history. The music of the centuries, the jazz of New Orleans, the energy of rock and roll the world had never seen. Pioneering spacemen and the heroes of their youth, it is easily forgotten they were young and searched for truth. Rosa, Martin Luther, we are looking for you now, for the civil wars of conscience can be seen for miles around. But where are all the leaders that cause the heart to beat? The spirit of the nation, it is dying in the street. In our search for treasure, we destroy near everything, not who or what or why, but politics of spin. And when they come to count us, I hope we will with time. I hope we can be proud of those who stood in line. Stand and fight for freedom through the dignity of words. Liberate your spirit with simplicity of love. Fuel the flames of freedom from the valleys to the sea, and raise the torch of liberty for nations to be free. I wrote you a letter. I wrote you with love. I wrote you a message for America with love.
Excellent. Well done. Beautiful. Really well. I catch the story with it, which is amazing. Well done. Where can that be found?
It will be on our new album, won't it?
Well, it'll be on this album.
And when do you hope to release that?
Fairly fast, I would have thought, knowing how Billy works.
He's just building up tracks of different poems, And these the Bréon brothers are very famous producers.
Yes.
Have worked on some Bréon's tracks as well. They worked with Dolly Parton and loads of people.
How did that connection come about?
It happened through an event. My husband Gary's in the art world, so he kind of is an advisor in the art world, and he was putting together an advisory team behind a photographic exhibition in Berlin about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a Russian photographer, George Hoynin-Huna. He was the first Vogue fashion photographer, chief of Vogue in Paris in the 1930s.
Wow.
So Gary, was part and parcel of the consultancy work with that. And the Berman brothers just happened to be there at the photographic exhibition. And as Gary was working on that at the same time, he's also a director of the Horst Foundation. Horst B. Horst was probably the greatest, one of the great photographers of the 20th century, fashion photographers, who ended up with George Hoynin-Huna in Paris in the 1930s. But basically what happened was I was commissioned to do something with Horst's work in Paris, and I discovered Josephine Baker. And then, so we were at the exhibition, and this is where the synchronicity and the serendipity comes in. Gary sees a sort of photograph of Josephine Baker, and the Berman brothers are looking at the photograph, and then they start talking to Gary. And of course, Gary tells the whole story about what was going on with what we were doing and what Josephine Baker was doing. And he says, well, we need to grab Bréon, and they couldn't find me, and they eventually found me. And we just instantly connected. And then I was doing some late poems about 1 o'clock in the morning at Soho House in Berlin. And it just connected. And they said, what are we going to do to work with you guys? And it kind of started that way. And then when we were in Cuba, we were on a beach, and I heard some, like a mariachi band or something like that. And I heard these melodies, and I went into that space where I started creating lyrics to the band on the beach.
Wow.
And Frank Berman was there, and Frank says, hang on a second, what's that? And then he said, we really want to work with you. We really want to do something with you, which is great.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Look, well done on that. Congratulations on that. That's an amazing story. Now, coming from the Scottish borders, how did you end up in this part of the world?
Well, Gary and I have been together quite a long time, and we were very, very clear that Gary's family, or Ramelton family, his mum was born in Ramelton. And when we first got together, all he ever spoke about was coming to Ramelton, being on a beach with sort of Dolly, his donkey, and things like that, at Carrigar or wherever. And I fell in love with the stories, obviously.
Yeah.
But my nana was a huge influence in my life, and she's the Irish side to the family. And I spent every Sunday with her and every Wednesday with her for 15 years of my life. Wow. So Ireland was completely in all, not just in my DNA, but I was living it. So the fact is, I fell in love with an Irishman. That was a kind of a no-brainer, really.
Yes.
But we were really deciding, after Brexit and things like that, what we were really going to do. And then I says, well, I think what we should do first is, I think maybe it's about time we got married. And so that's what we did. And the question was, where were we going to be married? And we said, well, what about Dublin? That was the place we settled on. And we have, we had 4 witnesses at our ceremony at the National Gallery in Ireland. And that was courtesy of one of our dear friends, Teresa, who's another Irish lady. And she organised that whole event for us. So we got married in Dublin. And then Gary and I spoke, and he says, where do you want to go for your honeymoon? I says, Donegal. So we ended up, a honeymoon in Donegal. And when we were in Donegal, I just started having all this kind of goosebumps and chills in all the various areas we were going into. And within 2 or 3 nanoseconds, music started to come into my head.
You got the same inspiration as you got.
Same inspiration. It's the same inspiration, but it was on another level. It was almost as if just another wave was rolling through me.
Wow. And
then Gary says, well, what do you think? I says, well, this is going to be our home. So we've been here. We spent 1.5 years in Castle Street in Ramelton. We rented a place there. And then we were really lucky that I think Gary had seen this derelict cottage in Mulroy, and he put our name on a list. And then just out of the blue, about 6 months ago, they said, you know, you're first on the list for this cottage if you want to come in. And so we got the cottage. So we got the cottage, but, you know, we didn't have any furniture or anything.
Yeah.
And so that's where the fun comes in, because a year before we'd met Cormac, that runs the Old Glen restaurant in Glen. And he said, well, come up to Malroy at one point. And we literally got the cottage. We went into the Old Glen bar, and it was almost like someone says, cue him, and he walks in the door, you know, Cormac. And he says, oh, it's good to see you guys and everything like that. And then we said, well, we've got the cottage. We don't have any furniture. He says, I have a kitchen table for you. He says, because we're changing the furniture. So the next day, him and one of his pals, you know him as a musician, they ended up bringing a kitchen table and 6 chairs. And then I said, there's got to be more writing room. He says, oh, well, we got a wee table and we do that. And then when Billy heard about the story, Billy says, you know, I've got 3 sofas. He says, why don't we come and take a look at the sofas? So about 3 weeks ago, you know, we ended up getting a sofa. And then as that was going on, your other pal says...
Jonathan Smeaton.
Oh.
He says, I have a chest of drawers, you know.
So there was like a gift, you know. So
you never know. There might be somebody listening here tonight who'll say, "Listen to tell you with us."
You could end up with 5 or 6 sofas.
But every you know, it's just been so supportive, everybody, and the Old Glen Bar as well. We commissioned a painter in the UK to actually make a Christmas card setting, which is what we've got on the Christmas song here. Wow. So we've done that as well. And then getting to the Christmas song, as everything else was going along, my husband said, you know, you need to write a Christmas song. And so I said that to Billy. And then he says, well, you got to bring Padre along. And you got to meet him and let's see what he's doing on the fiddle. And this is only about, what, three weeks ago or something when we did the Christmas song. And Billy said to me, he says, do you have a structure? I said, I think so. And we just got together and you just played on guitar and it just happened, didn't it? It was
and Dermot Byrne then was up
magical.
with me and he played accordion.
Yes.
So it's good.
Excellent. And what's the plans going forward then? What's the big plans? Keep being inspired?
Yeah, there's a lot of writing to be done. I mean, one of the other things I'm doing is a dark fairy tale, which I think that'll be quite interesting. So we'll be hopefully working for a long time. I would like to think that. And building out, just being with these great musicians. I mean, I do passionately believe some of the best talent in the world is here in Donegal.
Oh, we have said it for years here on this show. There's not a week goes by we're not blown away by the talent and you know.
And the Berman brothers are coming over. They're coming to the Groove Shank where everything happens.
Are they? Very good.
Coming over, aren't they?
Oh, you've made.
They might get a surprise.
They mightn't stay. Oh no,
they might never leave.
That could be it too.
No, well, he should.
You doing much else, Billy? You're doing a lot of work.
I was working on Friday. I'm working with a man. He's a very interesting man called Conor Bowman. He wrote a lot of really well-known songs, but he's also a senior barrister, and he is also a stand-up comedian. And he had 3 albums, beautiful songs, but other people tend to record his songs. Yeah. He done one of them in America, and then he was doing a show in the New Theatre in Dublin. Yeah. And it's a bit like Loudon Wainwright. He tells funny stories and then writes a song about the story. Some of the songs would make you cry, some of them you can't stop laughing. And I just recorded that live show we done on Friday night. Now I'm just sending him rough edits of it. Yeah. And he's doing a live album because he's going to do a tour. But he's written 8 novels as well, beautiful books as well. He's an amazing man, never stops working.
He's
a lovely man as well.
We'll have to meet this gentleman.
I'll bring him up.
Certainly.
I'll definitely bring him up here, and he's a beautiful guitar player and singer as well.
Well, that class.
Incredible.
Brilliant. And Padre, yourself, you're
still about. Yeah.
Flat to the mat, or?
I'm doing bits and pieces, but with fun here and a couple of friends with the Shindig House Band.
Yes. You kept going?
Yeah.
And yourself, fun? Just equally as busy?
Aye, busy enough. Myself and Ori McBurty have been working on an album for 3 years, so I kind of don't want to talk about it really until it's actually finished at this stage.
Well, I'm not going to say
I'll let
nothing.
you know. Maybe another 6 months.
No, well, you know, take your time. We'll bring it up here and we'll get a spun out of it, definitely.
Hopefully something soon. But
well, sure, keep in touch with us. You know the crack. Well, come here. It's lovely having you here. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to come back with a new song. Don't go away. This is Highland Radio on a Monday night sessions.
What's going on?
That's like the third or fourth Garda car that sped up the village. Something is up.
Ballyglasane, new drama series every Wednesday night at 8 on Highland Radio.
Bit of Bioma moisturiser, flick of iconic London mascara, some Ella Thomas body spray.
Wow, you look glam. Where are you going?
Just popping back to Boots. Need to replace these gifts I got for Mel.
Make magic this Christmas with 3 for 2 on beauty gifts at Boots. Selected products cheapest free offer ends 24th December subject to availability.
Keep out the cold, cold, cold and ring Fleming for their full range of garage doors, agri doors, insulated doors, milking parlour doors. Fleming, 91 48 234.
Christmas has arrived at Patterson's. Christmas trees and decorations now on display. Christmas gifts, from Hollywood mirrors to wall art to home fragrances, you'll find the perfect gift at Patterson's. There's a large range of dining tables and chairs, sofas, mattresses and bedroom furniture in stock and ready for Christmas delivery. Open Monday to Saturday 9 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. with free local delivery. Patterson's, the Hall Lifford, for everything you need this Christmas.
Yeah, welcome back. It's 9 minutes in front of 9 o'clock, yes, on a Monday night sessions. And we have been entertained by Bréon, Rydell, Billy Robinson and Finn Robinson and Patrick Call. And as I say, it's an amazing story. You're a very interesting man. You have obviously travelled a lot and seen a lot, and you seem to be very spiritually involved in the areas around you, so it brings out the best, and long may it continue.
Thank you.
This is a new song. This is called Christmas in Donegal.
Christmas time in Donegal. It's a thank you to the people of Donegal that making Gary and I feel so welcome here. And it's a thank you to Angus up at the Old Glen Bar. He's a kind of person that inspired us a little bit. And when we were at the Old Glen Bar, he gave us a great deal of the history, and I learned a lot about the importance of pubs, the importance of community, and I wanted to write about pubs and community and these sort of things. So thanks to Angus for some of the thoughts and ideas. So
right, whenever you're ready, we'd love to hear this.
I hear a choir of angels singing, calling out to me. Sounds of vinyl records spinning on this Christmas Eve. Kiss me in the morning, baby, tonight we'll have a ball. It's hootenanny time, it's Christmas, slanter from Donegal. We'll drink to the fellas and lassies, the music and crack are making us happy. We'll drink to the fellas and lassies with whiskey chasers and gin. We'll drink to the fellas and lassies, the music and crack are making us happy. We'll drink to the fellas and lassies with whiskey chasers and gin. A skinny tree with a skinny slammers are hitting the bar. Fellas are digging the scene, lassies are dancing like queens. A singer stood up with a mic, there were gasps as he fell to the right. He steadied himself, looked out to the crowd, and said, drinks this night are on me. We'll drink to the fellas and lassies, the music and crack are making us happy. We'll drink to the fellas and lassies with whiskey chasers and gin. The fellas went wild on the floor, security showed them the door, and the bell started to ring, and the party rocks and it swings. with glasses, the crack are making us happy. We'll drink to the fellas and lasses with whiskey chasers and gin. We'll drink to the fellas and lasses, the music and crack are making us happy. We'll drink to the fellas and lasses with whiskey chasers and gin. We'll drink to the fellas and lasses, the music and crack are making us happy. We'll drink to the fellas and lasses with whiskey chasers and gin. Happy Christmas, Christmas, there's a welcome here for you. Happy Christmas, Christmas, there's a welcome here for you. Woo! Happy Christmas, Christmas, there's a welcome here for you. Happy Christmas, Christmas, there's a welcome here for you.
You know, brilliant. It's like a song's been around for years, hasn't it? You know, it's got that. Would that get a few outings in the Glen Bar over the festive season? I have no doubt. Brilliant, well done. And is that available?
No, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on Spotify and all the major platforms. Yeah,
brilliant. And it's under Bréon Rydell. And I just want to say a massive thanks. It's you're very inspiring and a great conversationist. And I love what you get from the surroundings that are around you, and it's amazing. And long may it continue.
Thank you. It's a real privilege being here.
Oh, and it's a privilege for us. And to say the door's open, you're welcome in here anytime. And Billy and Patter and Fun, thank you very much. And Gary, sorry, it's lovely to see you as well. We should have brought you in for a whole conversation, but come here. Thanks for joining us in Highland Radio, and have a great Christmas, both of you, and keep collecting the furniture. Keep collecting the furniture. Thank you very much. Thank you.